love Mario Kart, don't we, chat? We certainly love Mario Kart. But you know what I also love? I love the Special Cup. The Special Cup is where the Mario Kart babies have gone to bed and the men and women are out in force. This is where the game design can truly shine. But which one of the Special Cups are the most special? And which one of them is the most special needs? Let's find out in the best way I know how. And that is with a tier list. I have all 8, asterisk on the 8, Special Cup cups. And we're going to rank them all real quick. So, let's get started, gamers. With the first disappointment of the bunch. I have, in fact, as you can see, a G tier for G. Why did you even bother? There we go. I think that's a good name for it, isn't it? Chat, make your prediction. This is prediction time! 7? Ooh, 7. SNES for sure. SMK 64. Ooh, some good predictions. 7's a good shout, but I'm not going to go with 7. Instead, gamers, if you guessed the Mario Kart Super Circus Extra Special Cup, give yourselves a round of applause. None of you guys in chat got it, so don't even pretend none of you did. Now, if you don't know what this is, once you're done with Mario Kart Super Circuit, they actually do something really nice. They let you play every single Super Mario Kart track in a 5-cup format, meaning there's 4 tracks per cup instead of the usual 5. Now, what makes the Super Circuit versions of the Super Mario Kart tracks way more inferior is the fact that there's no hazards. Because they were running out of dev time, they never had the time to put the proper hazards in. Now, for some tracks, it doesn't really affect it too much, but I think in the Special Cup, it really does, in one particular way. One of the things I loved about Super Mario Kart, which I'll elaborate once we talk about Super Mario Kart, were the thwomps. The SNES Rainbow Road, the original specifically, probably has the best use of thwomps in the entire series, which is something that's completely absent in the Super Circuit version, which is very unfortunate, really. And then what you have left is Cuba Beach. Is anyone... And then Ghost Valley 3. And then Vanilla Lake 2, which I think even the worst cup in the series, according to me, at least does one thing, right? Theming-wise, they take you to varying different locales, they mix it up quite nicely, but considering every single cup does that to a very good degree, it's not something I'm going to give Super Circuit's Extra Special Cup any credit for. It's not even on this tier list, so the person who made this forgot it, so boo to you, boo to you! You forgot my childhood. So instead I'll be using Mario Kart 8's Banana Cup to stand in for Extra Special Cup. So well done, Extra Special Cup. You are the most special needs of these special cups. But once we get past that, gamers, we get on to the F tier? Actually, we don't. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I can confirm there are no F tiers. Oh my god. So let's go ahead and axe that from reality. I don't have any F tiers, gamers. But can you guess what is the de facto worst special cup in the entire series? Make your predictions known, gamers. Make your predictions known. I'm seeing 64. I'm seeing Super Mario Kart. I'm seeing 7. Some very good shouts, gamers. If you decided to guess the unfortunate Mario Kart 64, give yourselves a round of applause. Mario Kart 64. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You remember when this was the internet's darling? Do you guys remember? You guys might be too young. Remember when this was everyone's goat on the internet back in the day? And while I have to deal with the Wii stands now, it is a far cry from the 64 stands. Because at least when the Wii stands are infuriating online, they're at least talking about a game that I also agree is good. Not as good as they think, but I also think it's good. With 64, this is your go? Really? So the reason why I would not put this in the D tier is because I think it at least starts off relatively well. DK Jungle Parkway, while it's not really that interesting, a jungle course, it at least has a relatively unique gimmick in that you cannot go off-road. While it might be tempting to go off-road, you actually can't. The restless natives will throw coconuts off you from off-screen, which I think is a little bit funny and makes this track at least a little bit charming. And then after that, you get into Yoshi's Valley, the definitive version of Yoshi's Valley as well. I think this track with its multi-path madness, you see how slow this guy had to drive just to avoid falling off of the slowest path? Yeah, this is definitely the definitive version of Yoshi Valley, and if you're going to play a version of Yoshi Valley, you play this one. But when Yoshi Valley is the star of your cup, or the special of your cup, should I say in this instance, you know you're not really packing too much heat, because after that you get into Banshee Boardwalk. Do you guys want to give me the slander names? Ryder's already started off. Lanshi Lordwalk. Yeah. With a piece of music that just hurts my ears and a racetrack that is not as compelling as a Special Cup track could be. This is thoroughly a disappointment, I would say. It really, really is. And then, oh my lord. And then you get into Rainbow Road. Which is supposed to be a slam dunk. You're supposed to. This is the swan song of your video game. And while musically, it certainly is. Atmospherically, you could argue it also is. If you're getting any plaudits from me on a racetrack front, no, absolutely not. You bore me. I'm half asleep when I'm playing this racetrack. I really am. So no plaudits for me in this instance. And as a result, I think you can hold up bench in the D2. I think you can. So when Yoshi Valley saves you, there's not really too much I can say. Get the slander names, thank you. Rainbow Load, Painbow Road, Rainbow Loath, a lot of loathing. N64 Special Cup, I think you belong there. And I don't think you're convincing me otherwise, to be honest. I like to think that I could be swayed. I could be convinced by a rousing speech. You 64 stands aren't getting away with it this time. But after we're done going to the endurance test, that is the Mario Kart 64 Special Cup, where do we go to next game? We're still in the D tier, by the way. Slightly better than 64. What do you think comes next? Let's get some guesses, shall we? What do you think is next, gamers? Oh, hang on. Mario Kart 8. Ray, Creepy Produce is that way, brother. This is the wrong stream. This is the wrong stream, brother. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. If your lucky number is 7, come on down, gamers. Come on down to the musty stream, because what is slightly better than 64 is Mario Kart 7. Wow, this guy starts off from his DS screen. Holy shit. He has, what games does he have? He has, is that Metroid 2? And then he has the Pokédex 3D. And then he has Pokemon the Dreamcatcher radar thing? That's crazy. A white theme as well. You couldn't even get a theme for this, Shadow Mario? I'm a little disappointed. Lackluster home screen aside. Now, I know the Mario Kart 7 stands are gonna go crazy. You zoomers are zooming all over my live chat right now. No way what? D below SNES is insane. What do you mean? I'm leaving. Is this your goat, chat? Is this really your goat? Is this really... You're going to stand up in court and defend a horrible crossover, a horrible ice track, and a wholly mediocre Bowser's Castle? Yeah, Rainbow Road saves the cup from being F tier, but I'm not waking up out of bed for DK Jungle. I think I've spoken lyrical enough as to why I don't like this track. You could basically watch any video that has DK Jungle in it, be it my Mario Kart 8 rankings or my Mario Kart 7 rankings, and I will wax plenty lyrical. I'm not a fan of this. And then we get into an ice track. You're already losing me when it comes to an ice track. You're already losing me. Some vague references to Galaxy as well. It's not going to win me over. It might win many other people over, but not me. The theme is nice, though. The theme is nice. And then Bowser Castle. You guys are getting angry at me in the chat, but I'm disappointed in myself. I used to think this Bowser Castle was good. And then I, actually played it properly, and I'm like, this sucks. It's got, one cool shortcut at the end. And then some weird plumbing chicanery, which I'm the only one who seems to like. I'm not waking up for this, gamers. I am waking up for... Oh my. Rainbow Road, huh? Arguably the best Rainbow Road in the series. And with that original rainbow as well, where the rainbow isn't all blue. It's actually a rainbow this time. And that rather space-themed soundtrack. Oh, what a way to end a game. I honestly don't think there's a better swan song to a Mario Kart game than Mario Kart 7's Rainbow Road. But when all that came before you was mid, horrible, and also mid... Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You think D is harsh. I think D is, personally, a saving grace. So, Mario Kart 7, it is with great honor and sadness, actually, for RR, that I will put you in the D tier. You're better than 64, at least. Let's give it credit. Come on, you're at least better than 64, right? Come on. That's an award. You can show that off. Miss 7 Andy, but I think Special Cup is very mid and the worst cup in the game. Worst cup in the game? Really? Here we are. Is it the worst cup in the game? Let's do some live research real quick. Yeah, it kind of is. You're right. You're actually kind of right. Holy shit, this cup sucks. Like, a mushroom cup is mid, but it's a mushroom cup. But if we're talking about the actual cups, like Flower, Star, and Special. Well, tangent aside, let's continue. Let's continue with the main meat of this discussion. We're gonna name it D for Dough. But we get to the C tier, gamers. The C for I'll be seeing you later. I've really brought my A game today, gamers. I've really brought my A game today. I've got 2 C tiers. Now, what is going to be the beginning of my C tier? A low C tier. What's going to be here, gamers? What's going to be here? I'm seeing SNES. C for Super Mario Kart. I don't think I could stall it any longer, gamers. I don't think I could stall it any longer. If you said Super Mario Kart, I don't think you deserve an award because it's pretty obvious. You're probably thinking, Musty, Super Mario Kart in C. What's a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas? Calm down, firstly, okay? Secondly, I think all in all, this is a cup where the C tier is the perfect tier for this cup, because the D tier is I'm actively not having as much fun as I should be, and the G tier is you're a disgrace upon humanity who shouldn't exist. So in my world, a C tier is you're not particularly good, but you're not particularly bad. Now, I can't really think of anything that's particularly bad about this cup. I think structure-wise, I think it works fantastically. You start with Donut Plains 3, which I really do like the fact that you actually have to manually hop over this gap in order to clear it with top speed. I don't think there's a single other track in the series that makes you manually hop as a thing, which I think is quite neat. It's the only track in the cup where it has like traditional grassy off-road. So it's like the last track where the off-road is relatively generous before it starts getting into some more harsher tracks. There's the next one. Then Coup Beach 3. This is probably a bit of an imposter. I don't think it really deserves a special cup slot, if I'm being honest. But I still think maneuvering through the dark waters and the cheap sheeps, making sure you stay in line with the sand instead of the grass versus the water, especially with the slipperiness of the controls here, I still think there's enough compelling gameplay here to at least deserve a spot. Ghost Valley 3, I think, is a tough track. I think it deserves its special cup slot. It does have a feather shortcut, unlike like Shaffilis lied to us in his video. It does have a feather shortcut, which I think is really neat to hear. It's one of the, I'd say it's the second best feather shortcut besides the obvious front runner. And I think overall, it offers a very, very nice upgrade in the difficulty. And then before that, you get to Vanilla Lake 2, which, if you were going to go before Rainbow Road and you weren't going to be a Bowser Castle, I think Vanilla Lake 2 is probably the track you pick in this game. There's a lot of fun shortcut opportunities here as well. A lot of fun shortcut opportunities. Like if you can see on the map at the bottom, there's this bit where the Luigi is, you can completely jump over there. And then there's this bit here, this gap here you can jump over. And then where the Bowser is, you can also cut. There's so many like little cuts you can do as well. So this is actually, it can be a tough course if you're not used to it. But it can also be quite fun to play on. I have a bit of a soft spot for Vanilla Lake 2. A little bit, at least in this game. Because it's actually decently fun to play on. And then of course, right after that, you get into the best course in the entire game by a noticeable margin. As I've mentioned many a time, and I'll keep singing its praises over and over again, I think its use of thwomps is easily the best amongst the entire series. In the first lap, they just simply stare at you and look at your drip, judge your drip from above, and in the second lap, once you've seen where they are, that's when they decide to go down. With this last set of thwomps in particular, as you can see here, being a very noteworthy hazard as well. You either have to go to the extreme right or the extreme left, and with the slipperiness of the controls, it's a lot harder than it looks. This turn here, if the thwomps are not favorable to you, it's a tough one. It really is a tough one. This final turn is the culmination of everything that Super Mario Kart is willing to offer you difficulty-wise, and I think for that, it at least earns a little bit of respect. Now, while I'm not actively having fun in this cup, which is why it only stays in C, I still think structure-wise, it's paced relatively well. The difficulty ramps up quite nicely. It ends on the best note it possibly could. It does everything you would expect in a special cup. So I think for that, it does deserve a little respect. Not too much respect, obviously. It's still Super Mario Kart. But I think for anyone who's putting it in D, F, or G, I think you're missing. You got a little bit too much. I think it might be a bit of an issue. I'm not going to say what kind of issue. It might be a cornea issue. It might be a hand-eye coordination issue. I don't know what kind of issue it is, but you have an issue, and it definitely needs to be solved. Maybe through therapy, maybe through gameplay. Remember, it's literally the only good tracks. I mean, it's the best of the lot by a notable margin. I wouldn't say the only best one. I hate the thwomps in this one. Oh, Christian, it might be an issue. I don't know. So after we're done with the Super Mario Kart's whole load of okay, what do you think comes next, chat? Make your predictions. We've got next is DS. Double Dash. Now, gamers, if you've made your prediction, and it is, in fact... Oh, why are you booing me, gamers? Why are you booing me? Why are you booing me? I'm right! I'm right, and you know it! It is the gamers, it is time. It is that the floodgates have been opened. Mario Kart DS has now been given mid-status. Everyone in the world is waking up to how mid this game well and truly was, and I am here to ride the wave. Mario Kart DS's Special Cup is a whole load of C. I know for some of you guys, it was a childhood go. In fact, it was one of mine too. Gamers, let's be real with ourselves. Let's be real. Chat, come on. Be real with me, guys. Are you waking up out of bed for Wario Stadium? We love Peach Gardens, obviously. But then, this Bowser Castle? The Spinamajig is this only cool thing? And then this Rainbow Road? Well, it's got those Sonic loop-de-loops. Am I playing Sonic or Mario? What's happening here? Let's go track by track. Let's roll it back a little. So you get to Wario Stadium. I mean, it's nice that it has a custom startup music. That's actually a really nice theming touch. I think it should get more credit for. But in a pre-trick society? Be honest with me. Seriously, be honest with me. In a pre-trick society, you're playing this. Come on, guys, come on! Open your eyes! I like Wario Stadium. Open your eyes, Lucid! You start lucid dreaming, brother. You're in the clouds. You're in the clouds, brother. Come on! Message deleted by Spongy? What the hell? What did he say? Can I check? Yes! More DS London, yes! Yes! Thank you for the 2, Saul. Damn, if you couldn't tell, Spongy's a bit of a DS and-in. Didn't take too kindly to that. I tapped it by accident. I'm sorry. He was not actually sorry. But as I mentioned, in a pre-trick society, this track is just not really too interesting, if I'm being honest. It does have some decently cool set pieces, I suppose. But to start off the cup, I wanted to start strong. You know me. I like to start off strong, you know? This is not the strong you want to start us off on. Now, Peach Gardens. Peach Gardens, I will be there no matter what. Especially this rendition of Peach Gardens as well, with like the hedge maze being a lot more compelling than its 8 Deluxe counterpart. I love this. I've seen some people make the argument that maybe this track isn't difficult enough to be a special cup track, and honestly, I can kind of see it. But considering the cup as a whole doesn't lean into difficulty too much, I think by DS standards, I think it fits just in. And of course, it's the starring spectacle in this cup by a country mile. Because once we're done with Peach Gardens and enjoying ourselves, oh, DS Bowser Castle, DS Bowser Castle. I used to think you were cool, man. I used to think you were cool. Now look at you. Now look at you. You have like you're like a one-trick pony. All you have is the Spinamajig. That's all you got to your name, brother. For timing it by what parts of the track am I actively having so much fun in, this part here is tense. It's nerve-wracking. Are you going to get hit? You don't want to get hit. You might want some protection. You might want to make sure that you have the right item. You might want to make sure you save a certain item to make sure you don't get hit on this bit. This bit here, that's fun. Every other part of the track, boring! Chat, have I been too harsh? This is your chance. Rainbow Road stands. You need to help me out here. Have I been too harsh to this Rainbow Road? Because, no, let's watch it. Let's watch it together, chat. You got this spinny section straight from Double Dash, and then you got, what's it, Roly Poly Oly #1, and it's like, this is the part where you guys say, Musty, technically you like the Spinamajig because the fact that hazards might be very intricate here, but the loop-de-loop in Rainbow Road also has that same mechanic. If you get hit, you will fall off the Rainbow Road into the stars and be forced back to the beginning. Hold it! Now, this might be from personal experience, but this has the same effect as when people say the train is very thrilling to drive past in Calamari Desert. In my hundreds of hours of playing DS as a child, and even the 1 or 2 times I played it for this stream, there was not a single instance where somebody tried to throw a green shot at me on this bit, and then I narrowly had to dodge it, or there was a banana that I had to avoid. I think even bananas don't make you fling up. It's mainly green shells and what have you, right? So even though it might look like a decently cool set piece, by modern standards, it doesn't hit right, guys. It just doesn't hit right for me, if you ask me. I'm used to the grand spectacle. In a remake N64 Rainbow Road world, I don't think just going on a Spinamajig thing is enough for me. Am I spoiled? Am I acting spoiled? Am I a spoiled child? Have I had too much cookies from the cookie jar? Maybe. Oh, is that it? Oh, no. Rainbow Road. Someone's played local? Oh, no. Callum, my brother. I used to play local all the time after school, brother. All the time. I used to bring my DS to school all the time, brother. And even when I played it with my friends, the same thing never happened. Yeah, you know, I'm even more confident. Having watched it back, I'm even more confident that I'm going to be seeing you later. That's what I'm going to be doing. It's Mario Kart DS. Hang on, Travis. Must you fallen off? Travis in real time doing the thing I see in my YouTube comments. The video agrees with them. Yes, Musty, this was such a good video. Video disagrees. Musty, you fell off. You're so bad, Musty. What the fuck? Travis doing it in real time. Thank you, Travis. Thank you so much. Peach Gardens is doing a hard carry and still can't save it. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. DS just doesn't have that angle. It doesn't have that angle, you know? It doesn't have that angle. So as a result, it stays on the top of C tier. But next, we're going into the next tier gamers. We're going into the B tier, which, honestly, I actually don't have any. There are no B tiers. We skip straight to A gamers. So gamers, what is going to be in the A tier? A for amazing. Never back down, never give up. Oh, I've seen some GCN, some 8, some Wii, some Super Circuit. Give me GBA. Oh, what am I going to give you, gamers? What am I going to give you? Drum roll, please, gamers. Drum roll. If you said, gamers, if you said Mario Kart Ace, give yourself a round of applause. Mario Kart 8. Well, you probably know the exact reason why this is A instead of S. But let's go through it anyway, because I need the AdSense. Cloud Top Cruise. Oh, my Lord. I honestly... Let's do some actual research, because my theory is I don't think there's a better special cup starter than Cloud Top Cruise. And having a quick scroll, maybe Lakeside Park gives it a run for its money. But I would happily say, I'm going to stand on business. Cloud Top Cruise is the best special cup starter in the entire series. So you can take a bow, Cloud Top. You can take a bow. Theming wise, fantastic. A race in the sky, just like Sky Gardens. I think it's a theme type that I don't think you can kind of go wrong with. At least if we're talking about Sky Garden, we're talking about its original incarnation, not Cloud Top Jr. But theming wise, this is just a theme type that just goes so well with Mario Kart. It really does. And I like the fact that they use it rather sparingly, because when they do, it really stands out. It really does. Especially this Thunder Cloud section. A nice way to juxtapose from the fluffy white clouds. I absolutely adore Cloud Top Cruise, and I think it deserves... I think while it's correctly rated, I still think more people need to talk about this track, because this track is honestly one of the good ones by far. And then after that, it's like... Bone Dry Dunes, huh? Oh, man, Bone Dry Dunes. Now, as I mentioned in my Mario Kart 8 Cup rankings as a whole, Bone Dry Dunes is obviously the low point of this cup, but I don't actively hate it so much where I regret my decision to play this cup. And as a result, that's why this cup stays in the higher echelons of the tier lists, because it's obviously just... It looks nice, the Bone Piranha plants are fun, when you go into the dark section, your light comes on, yada, yada, yada. You've heard me talk about this game plenty of times. You really have. Actually, hang on. Where are the Bone Dry defenders? I will defend Bone Dry. Board Dry Dunes. Underrated. Oh, gamers. Underrated, huh? Underrated, David. I would say it's correctly rated in that it's just kind of bland. Guess I'm the only one who loves this track. You and the other guy that I looked at, you two can be best friends. It has a slippery feeling, so it fits into the special. Like, the handling penalty from driving on desert fits the special cup perfectly. It doesn't affect my decision making to play the cup, but it is obviously the low point. Like, I think it's very, very clear. If you're going up against Rainbow Road, Bowser Castle, and Cloud Top, Bone Dry Dunes is obviously the low point. It's not the worst thing ever made. It's obviously the low point. Speaking about, but Bowser Castle though. Oh my lords. I'm gonna say it. This Bowser Castle does not get enough credit. It does not get enough credit. I think mainly because, as I mentioned in my 8 rankings, I think there's not one thing that this Bowser Castle does phenomenally, but it just all around is just a fantastic racetrack. It constantly feeds you hazards. It's constantly doing interesting things. You're constantly keeping your eye out for something, and as a result, I think it makes for a very, very compelling showing from the big man himself. And then Rainbow Road, Rainbow Space Station gamers. I'm going to like it a little more than I used to. I don't know. What do you think? Do you know what, chat? I'm going to get the chat's take. Have you, in the last 10 years, you started off probably hating this track, as most of us did. Where have you fallen since? For me, I'm a little bit more generous. I put it in the B tier on my MK rankings. I think it deserves that spot. Is it the best swan song to Mario Kart 8? No. But I have a decent time playing on this. I'm not actively hating myself. It's just a shame that your ancestors have done such a fantastic job, and even some of the versions in this same game have done a better job, really. You're a victim of comparison, Mario Kart 8 Rainbow Roads, but all in all, you're a solid man standing on your own toes. Super underappreciated. It's still not great. I actually like it now. This rainbow is at least A tier. Kind of underrated. Not gonna lie, I think I like it less now. Low B tier. Plainbow Road. Rain Boring Satellite. So a mix of opinions. Some of you guys have grown on, some of you haven't. Like I said, I think it's a little nicer. And I don't think this track being one of the weaker rainbow roads is enough to lower the overall ranking in my tier list. It's not gonna hit S, obviously. That's for the big dogs. But I think it deserves its spot. I think it definitely deserves its spot in the A tier, 100%. And then we get into, oh my god, the S tier gamers. That S for sensational. There we are. As you can see, there are 3 contenders standing. There is a winner's podium here, gamers. And who would you say, gamers, if you had to take your guesses, who takes the bronze medal? Get your last minute guesses in quickly. GBA, GCN calling it. A lot of GCNers, gamers, and if you're one of them, give yourselves a round of applause. The bronze medal in the Sir Musty Special Cup rankings belongs to Mario Kart Double Dash. Let's have a quick overview of this cup. I think one thing I absolutely adore about this cup, it starts off relatively okay, but it just ramps up to being a little better every time. Let's start off with Wario Coliseum, a track that a lot of people love, and a lot of people really want to see a remake. And while I agree with the latter, in that I think it definitely deserves a remake, the former is where I start scratching my head, because in this original reincarnation, I just don't think it does enough. While I think it serves its job as a special cup starter, I think it has a lot of intricate turns. There's some off-road instances. I just don't think there's enough hazards baked into the track proper where it really grips me on a personal level. This turn in particular, if you're not careful about this one, it can mess you up if you don't let go of your drift early. I'm glad he showcased that one. And there's also another section which can be a little tricky as well. This section here, once you get into the air in Mario Kart Double Dash, you're kind of locked horizontally. If you want to take the shortest path with this jump, you got to make sure you really thread the. You want to make sure you hit it perfectly. Any variance left or right, and you're careening off. So does this person make it? Is all they're just about? I don't know after we're done with Wario Coliseum. Dino Jungle. What do you think of Dino Jungle, guys? It's a track that I think as a kid, I didn't really appreciate enough, but I really like Down Jungle. There's just something about this. I think that at every point in the race, there's something interesting going on, which is what I love about Down Jungle. I mean, at first, it starts off relatively simple. It says to you, hey, if you want another item, even though you just had a chance to get a bunch, you have to contend with the stomping ways of this dino fella here. And then you get into the bridge section. Pick your bridge. Do you pick the middle bridge, which is the best of speed, really? Do you pick the wider orange path? That gives you a double item. What do you risk it for the biscuit? Listen, I'm a bit of a thrill seeker, and as Fizzy Pop here is, they certainly are too. I love this little shortcut. It's actually tougher than it looks to take that shortcut. But if you do, you take the best possible path you could. And then you get inside this popper, which it has a nice shortcut here. But even if you don't take the shortcut, you have these geysers, which you have to avoid the middle section of this bit, so the geysers don't fling you up. Again, another interesting set piece. And then you got to avoid the big dino's nose without the glider this time. One final U-bend with some gliders. So you're kind of doing interesting things on top of a nice take on the jungle setting. You know, it's not Donkey Kong's jungle anymore. It's a prehistoric jungle. Are you back in time? Is this a nature preserve somewhere in the Mario Kingdom? The Mario world, should I say? Who knows? And we're never gonna know, because I don't think Nintendo care too much to expand the lore that much. But once we're done with Dino Jungle, Bowser's Castle. Oh, this Bowser's Castle, man. I love this Bowser Castle. Just like Dino Jungle, you're always doing interesting things. And you start off with the thwomps, you get into the fireballs as well. Not the hardest hazard. It can be a little tricky if you're not mastering it. Another classic case of risk reward also coming up with this fire bar. Do you risk the fire bar for the item? Sometimes the fire bars are very nice to you, and that they'll be in a perfect angle for you to grab another item. But do you risk it for the biscuit? I like a bit of a, bit of a thrill seeker, as I've said. And then you get the start of the spectacle Bowser statues with a rather understated one. Not underrated, I didn't say that word, but understated one. It's not going to be as calamitous or as track defining as some of the later ones are, but it's one that you still have to keep an eye out for, and I quite like that. It's quite understated. It might not mess you up a lot of times, but if you're not careful, it can really get you. It can really get your go. And after that, we get into this Rainbow Road. Now, having played this Rainbow Road just now for this stream, I still don't think it's my favorite. I haven't changed my opinion on it racetrack-wise. I still think it's a bit too long for no reason. and I think there's some sections which are maybe a bit harsher than they should be, but it has vibes, doesn't it? Has vibes? Has a little bit of that Rainbow Road magic, and maybe that's what's hypnotizing all of you guys. I think racetrack-wise, this one isn't really too interesting, but it's got the vibes, isn't it? It's got a big city down below. The rainbow is probably as bright and saturated as it has ever been. You got these rainbow items? I don't know what they're doing there. You got the shooting stars that offer you a star. Oh, there was one right there and he missed it. So in terms of like pure vibery, this is a good one. This gives I would even say, this one gives N64 Rainbow Road, the 8 version, a run for its money. It really does, because I never realized just how pretty this track looked. It might not show so much in a YouTube video, but when you play this, you're like, do you know what? I kind of like it. And the music really helps too. Maybe it's because I can't help but sing It's Called a Road, It's Called a Rainbow Road. But I've grown to like this one a bit more on a conceptual level. I still don't really like racing on it too much, but I still like it. And I think it's a good enough end to what is a very, very solid cup, honestly. It's mainly the middle 2 tracks doing the lion's share of the carrying for me. But I think Wario Stadium serves as a very solid beginning point, and Rainbow Road, at least, if it was going to be a swan song, it at least makes you feel a bit magical. So for that, I will give it, is this the Double Dash version? Gamers, I do not have my glasses. I'm just going to assume that's the Double Dash one, because the Wii and the Double Dash one look exactly the same. So, what do you think, guys? In my opinion, the most unique Rainbow Road. Yeah, definitely. I think it tries to go over the same bells and whistles as the 64 one did, but I think it realizes itself a lot better in Double Dash. I think it really does. The idea of a racer falling down on some random toes in the city is funny. What, careening down, 7 are dead? That's funny to you, Eva? That's like a ha-ha. Oh, yeah. Is that the true crime episode you're going to listen to next on your favorite podcast? The Mario kills 7 in a reckless Rainbow Road attack. And then we're going to get into gamers. Who is going to get the silver medal? If you know me well enough, you probably already know who this is going to go to. Can we give a round of applause to Ian TRS Ray, however you say your name, for trying? Good lord, you know you tried. There's no surprises here, really. If you guessed the next one, gamers, was going to be... Yeah! Yeah, it was always going to be. It was always going to be. If we look at it on paper, if you told me this was your GOAT, I wouldn't hate you for this. I really wouldn't. Like, looking at this cup, Lord have mercy on my soul. I think the only sticking point for whether this cup is peak or nearly peak is... Well, we'll get to that when we get to that. So when we start off with the Dry Ruins. Oh my lords. Desert Tracks desperately needed a hero, and Ruins answered the call. In the years since Mario Kart Wii, very few desert tracks have done what Ruins could do and actually be decently fun to race on. I think, Saul touched upon this, I think desert courses being in the later half of the natural selection really works, because one of the natural hazards that desert track has is that your handling is going to take a penalty because of the sand, obviously. Now, this handling penalty, I think, is rather annoying and rather frustrating if you're in an earlier cup, but I think in a later cup where the whole point is it's supposed to be tough and harsh, Dry Ruins being here really fits. Also, the fact that it mixes up with a ruins section, so you can not only varies up the gameplay, but also gives you a little bit of a respite from the harshness of the sand handling. It really does make for a excellent special cup starter. And then we get into gamers, this is why I woke up this morning. Today, I saw on my schedule, I was doing a YouTube stream, and I saw that I'd be talking about special cups. And I was like, oh, yes. I get to anger the Wii stands all over again. Some of you guys follow me on YouTube only. Some of you guys follow me on YouTube and Twitch. Now, for Twitch, I mean, it was my birthday about 2 weeks ago, if you didn't know, and some of the members of the community decided to do a really nice gesture for me, and put together a video of a bunch of you guys saying your happy birthday wishes. Some of you guys even put together really elaborate videos. I think Maple Chandelier literally made a video where he modded me in Mario Kart Wii playing Moonview Highway and getting better at it, and he titled it The Timeline Where Musty Actually Likes Moonview Highway. Really? Give it another chance, okay? I've seen the lights. I have converted my ways from the Moonview Highway life. It was a really funny video. Some of you guys just gave me some birthday wishes. It was really nice. Somebody who made a surprise appearance in that video was actually Shafrila's Productions. People in my community reached out to him and said, hey, could you give Musty a birthday wish? And he really did, which was really nice of him.
Hey Musty, happy birthday. Hope you're having a great one. I'm excited for you to get older and wiser and realize with this newfound maturity that Moonview Highway is one of the best tracks in Mario Kart Wii. Okay, bye.
So again, Shafrilas is on your side, guys. He's on your side. Am I on his side? No, still not. I might be 30 years old now, but I still don't see what you guys see in this track. No, actually, no, scratch that. I do see what you guys see in this course. The speed, the harshness of the cars. Again, a traffic track being in Special Cup should theoretically be amazing. And some of you guys, in fact, see that. For me, I fundamentally believe the best aspects of Mario Kart is when you let the chaos of what Mario Kart is speak for itself and the track play second fiddle to that. I think I love this footage, by the way. Thank you so much, Typhlosion. I think Moonview Highway insists on itself, Lois. It insists on itself. It is just a little too imposing and focuses too much on itself, when, in fact, I think the focus should be the wacky item chicanery and the interactions that can happen between players. I think tracks like Moonview Highway lean far too much into the chaos of the gameplay of the track instead of the gameplay that Mario Kart is inherently known for. And as a result, I just think that it doesn't work. Along with its design quirks, which I'm not too fan of, which you can hear in my Wii ranking, I think. That video might be outdated, but my Moonview Highway take still stands. So Moonview Highway stands. Have you made a friend of me? Not yet. Once we're done with that. Hello, base department? Hello, Bowser? Bowser? I like what you've done with the place, bro. I like what you've done with the place. Again, another solid showing. Another solid showing from the big man himself. I've already done a video where I did my Bowser Castle rankings, which has probably come out before this one. And if you've seen it, you've seen me wax lyrical about this as well. I absolutely adore the spectacle Bowser. You're constantly doing interesting things, just like the 8 counterpart. And I think it's definitely a solid showing from the big man. I love it. But then after that, we get into, hello, Rainbow Department? Is it Pride Month? Happy Pride Month. Oh my god. You know what, chat? I'll let you have it, chat. Chat, give me the best one sentence you could use to describe this track. Perfection. Majestic. The peak of pride. Rainbow Goat. Rainbow Peak. Perfection. This track is from Mario Kart. Thank you, Anthony. Many a rainbow flag. Magical. Chaotic. The definitive Rainbow Road. Hey, listen, you didn't need to hear it from me. You heard it from the live chat, and the live chat is based. This Rainbow Road was not as good as this is. I probably would have put this in the A tier, but I think what propels this into the S, and second place even, is just how fantastically it ends. It starts off great. It ends off great. The middle point is a mix of anger-inducing and also fantastic. So I think it rightfully earns its second place spot, which just leaves one more, gamers. Gamers, take a guess. What is going to be on the top of the Sir Musty, the Special Cup ranking? I'll give you a second, chat. I don't know. Like some of you guys are saying Super Mario Kart. Some of you guys are saying 3DS. What's going on here? Like, some of you guys are guessing it wrong, but if you said Musty, are you beating the Super Circuit and the allegations today? I'm not. I am not beating the allegations today, gamers. Throw me in jail. Send me to the book. Put me in the big house. Lord, what a cup. What a cup. Can we just look at this cup? Jesus Christ on a bicycle. There is not a single low point here. And I know what you guys are going to say. I don't agree. But let's get into it. Again, it does the same thing that Super Mario Kart did, in that it starts off with a track where it offers you a bit of traditional off-road. For most of Mario Kart, they tend to have, like, you know, just the sand or grass as like the off-road to signal to you, hey, get back on the track, loser. And Lakeside Park also offers that as well. But it offers some simpler off-road to kind of ease you into the Special Cup. The later tracks are going to have a bit more, going to get a bit more harsher. Along with a relatively simple hazard in the volcano spewing fireballs at you during a couple of these turns as well. And of course, one of the more infamous parts of this track, which some people love it. Some people hate it. If you take this turn and you don't take it well enough, this bounce rail on the side will send you careening back. Some people think that's way too harsh. I think it's funny. And I like to laugh. If you guys can tell, I like to laugh. This isn't even the best track in the cup. And then after that, we get into Broken Pier. Now, say it with me. They forgot the lake this time. I know! They forgot the lake. I called the lake guy. He said it went to a dial tone because the lake company's been out of business since 2011. So the lake isn't coming back, guys. I've tried. But Broken Pier offers a very, very harsh upgrade from Broken Pier. The gimmick of the walls disappear once you hit them once is still a factor in a lot of the earlier Ghost tracks, and it's still a factor here. But as you guys can see, a lot of the turns, a good chunk of them, especially later on in the stage, as you'll see, don't really offer that level of forgiveness to you. This bit is off-road, this bit you can just jump straight off the edge here. A lot of instances as we get later on the track here, especially this section here, they're not going to offer you the freedom of bumping into walls. Not to mention the boos on the side. They're not there for decoration like they were in Boo Lake. They are there to harass you and catcall you and ask for your number, which you're going to politely decline. But they're going to insist on your number. They're going to insist on your Instagram. They're going to even ask you for an OnlyFans, and you're going to be disgusted at the notion, and you're going to want to beat them up, but then your friends are going to be like, it's not worth it, it's not worth it. Remember, we're an unfamiliar part of the city. We've got to be careful here. When people say they hate this, Shafrillis put this bottom one. I'm just like, I just don't see it, man. This is just fun. This is a Special Cup track of all Special Cup tracks. It really is. It offers such a nice upgrade in difficulty. I think it's a good step up as well. And then Bowser Castle 4. Good Lord, Bowser Castle 4. Good Lord, Bowser Castle 4. Again, one thing I really loved. If I loved Lakeside Park for offering the only bit of traditional off-road at the start of the cup and then ramping into harder off-road punishments later on, I love this Bowser Castle because it's you could argue maybe even the toughest track in this cup, in the sense that Lakeside Park offers you some really good shortcut opportunities. So does Broken Pier. Bowser Castle 4 offers you none, really. This is a pure showcase of your skill as a racer. It's got a lot of turns that will test your driving ability in this game. If you've mastered it at this point, this track is going to be a Nintendo Central. It needs a couple of more around the grid. It really does. But this offers no really big shortcut opportunities. So it really takes into account your skill level. You really have to be as good as possible. Are there any really big intricate hazards in this one? Other than the Mecha Koopas, which I would say don't really stick around for long enough. They can still prove to be a little bit of a hazard. This one is just, you really have to master the turns. Wowzer's Castle 4, Snoozer Castle 4. I'm glad there's some fans. There's some haters, obviously. And then you get into Mike. Hey, who's excited to see this in Mario Kart 9? Way! Gamers, I've got that Rainbow Riz. I mentioned this before when I reacted to Shafrillis' Super Circuit rankings, but one of the first things I did when I met my girlfriend is I showed her my Super Circuit time on Rainbow Road. And whether she was humoring me or whether she was genuinely impressed, the reaction was wow, that's actually really impressive. What a fantastic Rainbow Road. Something to know about this Rainbow Road in particular are the hazards. The shooting stars in the beginning of the track, the various clouds strewn about, threatening to zap you of lightning. They're all very deadly and can really make or break a game if you get hit by them. But they're also hazards that you don't really get to interact with much. In fact, if you're good enough, they barely pose a threat. This is something seen throughout the entirety of the Special Cup. Lakeside Park's volcanic rocks, Broken Pier's boos, Bowser Castle 4's thwomps and lava puddles. This whole cup has gone for a different kind of philosophy when it came to hazard design. With the game peaking the slippery era of Mario Kart games in a cup that you have to unlock before you even get to try, what a better test of your skill than having the hazards be off the beaten path a tad to see if you can really stick to the middle racing line. It makes for a cup that once you finally unlock and give it a try, it will kick your ass a fair few times. But hey, if you use a restore point, I won't tell. But once you master it, you can beat it without even batting an eyelid. Lord knows I can. And this philosophy is exemplified the best when it comes to the Lakeside Park bump. Hey, if you can drift just fine, you have nothing to worry about. But if your drifting still hasn't been mastered, hey, welcome to 8th place. I hope you enjoy your stay. And with one shining example, there's a glaring exception. The Mecha Koopas are what you could call an active hazard. But hey, that's how you can tell the rule is good. There's a glaring exception. Having the hazards be a lot more active and a bit more of a threat, forcing you to maneuver around them, I think is the way to go in modern Mario Kart. In the older games where even steering was a problem, having them off to the side can be a real true test of your skill, which, considering that's what the Special Cup was trying to go for, is a fantastic way to end the game. Basically, this whole extra bit I added in post was to say that, yeah, I'm not being the Super Circuit allocations. I think this one has a lot of remake potential. I know in a remake this is never going to get the bounciness that I require, but I really hope this Nintendo really cook with this one. I really hope so too. The most replayable Rainbow Road of all time, fight me. Who are you fighting, brother? You're amongst company here. With this cup offering a very good variety of themes, a lovely scaling difficulty, probably my favorite Rainbow Road in the entire series. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm gonna admit it, my hands are up. And because I'm a Super Circuit Andy, I think it deserves the spot of #1 in my Special Cup rankings. So there we have it, gamers! Definitely zero bias, I promise. Definitely zero bias. No biases. Definitely no biases here. Are you biased by any chance? Which ones do you think should have gotten a bit more praise or more hate? Do let me know in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like, and thank you so much to all the members for supporting the channel. Your names are imbued in the description if you're a Musquire Knight, and on the screen if you're a member of the Royal Guard or a Knight of Honor. I've already got one exclusive video up there if you fancy joining the members club. It's a Super Circuit thumbnail ranking, if you're interested in watching that. But you don't have to be rich to enjoy the content in these parts. I've got plenty of videos right here, gamers. And until the next time, there's your lot.